Developing an effective crisis intervention plan can be challenging, especially when stunned by a situation that you didn't expect, a situation that exceeded your training. We are joined today by an expert who will share tips for effective planning. Hello, I'm Andy Everly, and welcome to the ICISF Quick Tips podcast. Today's topic is stress as a toxin, how to manage the stress of a critical incident. With me today to explain this topic is Dr. George Everly Jr. Dr. Everly is on the faculties of the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health and the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. He's also co-founder of the International Critical Incident Stress Foundation. Welcome, Dr. Everly. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation.
Now, I think we all understand that critical incidents and disasters are stressful. But where did this idea of stress as a toxin come from?
Well, from exactly the point you just made. Traumas, critical incidents, disasters are all situations that create stress. When responding to incidents such as that, we often get lost in the details. We can get caught up in the trees and we forget we're in a forest. So it can be good to step back and view any critical incident from the 30,000-foot view. Simply said, critical incidents, regardless of their causes, are all stressful. So perhaps using a simple metaphor like stress is a toxin reminds us that our interventions, first and foremost, must be antidotes. They must be interventions that reduce stress.
Okay, so if we accept this notion of stress as a form of toxin, what are the antidotes? What are some quick tips?
Well, here are some universal quick tips on formulating an intervention plan, regardless of the type of the incident. And again, let's just keep in mind, our goal is to mitigate acute distress. That's what all interventions share. So to do that, let's use the KISS principle when planning. But it's not the KISS principle you're familiar with. This is the CISS principle. C stands for calm. Calm is an antidote for panic. Intervention begins with a presence. A calm, compassionate, and confident presence actually begins to trigger a physiologic de-escalation response in other people. Someone needs to be in charge. If it's not the interventionist, if it's not you, then somebody else is in charge, and it's often the most distressed person that seizes control.
So you're saying that by showing up and acting in an engaged but calm manner, it begins to put the other person at ease.
That's exactly right. People tend to mirror the actions they see in others. The second tip is I. I stands for information. During and after a critical incident, people want information. Information is an antidote for confusion. Information reduces anxiety. It empowers people who might be feeling out of control. A lot of people really don't want to be rescued per se. They want the information to rescue themselves. So information empowers people.
It certainly does. Now, what does the S stand for?
Well, actually two S's. The first S stands for structure. Structure is an antidote for chaos. Crisis interventions should be structured. This is not a shoot-from-the-hip type of intervention. They should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Critical incident stress management consists of numerous structured tactical interventions. The most famous of all, of course, is the Critical Incident Stress Debriefing, CISD, 7 phases. The diffusing, 3 phases. The Crisis Management Briefing, again, a structured briefing. And even the SAFER model of psychological first aid is a structured intervention for working one-on-one with someone in acute distress. And the last S stands for support. Support is an antidote for isolation. It dilutes the toxin, if you will. The single best predictor of human resilience is connection with others. That's the core essence of critical incident stress management. It's connection. Each of the structured interventions for CISM is a form of connection.
Thank you, Dr. Everly, for sharing your thoughts with us today. Historians talk about the fog of war, a haze of uncertainty in a critical time. It seems to me there is a fog in crisis, and certainly disasters. So remember KISS. C. Calm is an antidote for panic. I. Information is an antidote for anxiety and confusion. S. Structure is an antidote for chaos. S. Support is an antidote for isolation. This simple metaphor of stress as a toxin and your 4 KISS principles can help you lift that fog and be more effective helping others in crisis. I'm Andy Everly, and this is the ICISF Quick Tips. Until next time.